Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, everyone, depending on when you're watching and when and where you're watching this video. Thank you for being here. My name is Monica Hernandez with Material Business at Infinity Growth. I have a super good and great guest today, Mark. We've met actually at IPEIA, and that is what we are coming today and talk about. We are doing this series of bi-weekly interviews, and I hope you guys have a really good time. Thank you for joining, and for the ones that are watching after or that are listening after, thank you for being here. And yeah, with no further ado, Felipe will do the introduction.
Thank you so much, Monica. We have here Mr. Mark Stonehouse. He's IPEIA Steering Committee Chair. He has over 20 years of experience working in mechanical engineer, design, and analysis for the petroleum industry, with a primary focus on pressure equipment. His experience and expertise includes stress analysis using the finite element method for design and fitness for service, and includes a wide variety of FEA work performed involving plasticity, buckling, static, and thermal transient analysis. Mark has made various contributions through his career to ASME, PVP, ICPVT, API, CSA, and JPVT. He joined IPEIA's program committee in 2017 and has been a supporter of IPEIA as an attendee, presenter, and exhibitor for over 15 years.
Thank you,
Wow.
Felipe. Appreciate it. A lot of acronyms in there, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about a few acronyms, including the word IPEIA as well. So happy to be here. Thanks for having IPEIA at your table.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I have been a big supporter of IPEIA. Actually, I was the first chairwoman that ever chaired a session in my time when I presented there. So it is, I have a really close place to heart for IPEIA and its members and everything that is done, and all the support that is done to the community. And
I appreciate it.
thank you for coming. Yeah,
Well,
no, my
I
pleasure.
appreciate that. Happy to be here. And I guess this is my first time doing a podcast format, so be gentle with me, and we'll see how it goes.
Oh gosh, Mark, you're asking me to be gentle. Anyhow, okay, so let's start by the beginning. What is IPEIA? What is that acronym?
Okay, so IPEIA was formed about 25 years ago. The acronym IPEIA, if you look it up for our website, IPEIA.com, we are the International Pressure Equipment Integrity Association. So just as it sounds, we deal with pressure equipment integrity. We're an association, and we try as best we can to be international, and we're spreading our wings and doing that as we talked about before we started here today. The evolutionary pump that COVID was sort of pushed us to spread our wings and try to become even more international, and we're doing that through different platforms. IPEIA started out, and we, more than 25 years ago, we just celebrated our 25th anniversary conference and exhibition in Jasper, Alberta, this past February. We're going back there again this February. To Jasper Park Lodge again. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous venue. We're super excited to have that location. In its starting point, IPEIA was developed as a a means of collaborating, a means of sharing knowledge between industry experts. It was I believe it was a one-day set of presentations at SAIT, the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. They ran one slate of sessions, technical presentations, and that was it. That was the meager, the simple beginnings of IPEIA. It wasn't any more elaborate than that, and it's grown immensely. We moved out to a conference format. Adding things as we went along, having great social events as well that have been become famous over the years. We still have that as part of our conference, and we've grown even more. Like I said, we've grown more international. We've had lots of international involvement, international speakers from multiple countries, and even delegates attending our conference in the Rocky Mountains for years. So that's really what IPEIA is. It's about bringing people together, doing presentations. Primarily, that's sort of the heart of the conference, but it's grown to include things such as regulator panels, training sessions. Our Integrity Challenges Forum has become very popular, and we can talk about a lot of those things in more detail, but it's really about bringing industry groups together, and having multiple owner organizations, industry groups, inspectors, engineers, consultants, service providers, all in one place to help share information. And we want to do that internationally as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So just to put our audience in context, because we have people from other parts of the world. So IPEIA's headquarters, I guess, are in Alberta, in Calgary, and that's in Canada. and yeah, so we have a lot of pressure equipment and a lot of, what can I say, the regulations are very strict in that part. So it really helps putting together the pieces.
Yeah, so yeah, sorry, I should have put that in a little bit more context. The conference started in Calgary. It moved out to Banff for a number of years, and it's moved up to Jasper. All of those locations are in Alberta. And if you know Canada geographically, we're in the western part of the country, and a very large majority of pressure equipment in Canada is in Alberta, so it makes sense for us to have that as the central location. We're definitely collaborating with a lot of different jurisdictions and a lot of different provinces, as well as a large number of exhibitors and presenters from the States, connections with folks that have been involved with API, ASME, and things like that. So we're growing. We're definitely our delegates that come to the conference are definitely Alberta-centric or Canadian-centric, but we're bringing in experts from all over the world.
That's super great to hear. Now, Mark, tell me, we know that the pandemic affected really a lot and very many different organizations. So how did IPEIA navigate that pandemic, and how did you find ways to engage your members to continue to be involved? So I know you have done a lot of work, and I've seen it. I went to the past IPEIA conference in Jasper, and I've seen it, and I saw people, for the first time after 2 years, and we weren't sure, should I handshake, should I hug, should I just, elbow, what should I do? It was very interesting to see those reactions, but one thing that for sure was very evident was the wanting from people to be connected again. Mm-hmm. So throughout all those 2 years, tell us how did you guys engage, and what is new that came out positively about that pandemic?
Well, really, very loaded question. A lot of directions we could take that, but you know, from IPEIA's standpoint, I would say we were very lucky. We struggled to try to understand what it was we could do because we were primarily a conference, and we couldn't hold a conference. Nobody could hold a conference. So we were very lucky in that in February, March of 2020, we held our 24th conference. And a few weeks after that, the world changed. And so, like I said, we were very lucky to have that conference and have it run successfully. It was probably one of our most successful conferences in terms of attendance. And we were, you know, we were in very good shape and moving forward, wanting to grow and expand and do a lot of different things. And then COVID happened, and we sort of thought, you know, the first couple of weeks, it was like, okay, well, this is going to pass us by and no big deal, and it did not. So we very much had to change the way we were thinking. We quickly set up a webinar format to do our very similar technical presentations, same format, different platform. And starting in November, we had a trial session. It was very nerve-wracking. We didn't really know what we were doing, running webinars, trying to figure it out. And it was great. We had good attendance. We had good engagement, and we just kept it up. We kept up. So all of 2021, our major offerings, we set up a membership. People signed up for memberships. We subsequently had to cancel our 2021 conference, as most everybody else had to in the world. And we ran the entire year of 2021. We ran monthly webinars on different topics, different presenters. We had a lot of the same presenters that we would have had normally at a conference, and we actually had more international presenters that we would have never have had the opportunity to have join us. You know, we had presenters from the UK, we had presenters from Texas, we had presenters for people that would never have traveled to the Rocky Mountains in Alberta in the winter to present. So we really saw an opportunity there to say we can reach a lot of different experts in a very simple way. They're much more cost effective for people to just jump on a webinar, and you know, you're in your basement, or you're in your house, your home office, and it's very easy to connect people that way. And we saw that as a great opportunity, and we are continuing that, even though we're very lucky. We managed to have a very successful conference again in 2022 to celebrate our 25th anniversary. But we're continuing the webinar format as well, because we see the value in both. And if we want to become more international, reach more people, bring more expertise in, help our members gain that global expertise that we know is out there, the webinar format is a great way to do that. And we're super excited to continue that. And we think that it's just part of the whole the whole system, and the evolutionary pump that COVID was pushed us to doing that, and I think we'll be keeping it for quite, you know, for years to come. The world has changed, and we've changed along with it.
And that is exactly the beauty of all this, right? We can reach so many more places and people that were not reachable before. So that's fantastic. That shows a lot of effort, and I'm sure you guys had to put together all your heads into thinking on new ways. But congratulations, it seems like it's been a huge success for IPEIA. So who from our industry will benefit from having a membership with IPEIA? Who is that person? Like, who should join?
Okay, well, I think that you know, we can back up a little bit and talk about the what is our membership, and our membership model sort of changed through COVID as well. We were a conference and exhibition. You bought a delegate pass, you went to a conference yearly, and that's kind of, that was IPEIA. We've changed that format, and we've changed to a membership model where you can buy a membership, not attend the conference, and still gain a lot of the benefits of not only the conference proceedings. We do a very professional recording of all our technical sessions at the conference. We do record all our webinars, and they're all available to members to view, even the past presentations from past years that we've done for, not for 25 years, but we've got past presentations from since we started recording those sessions, and you can view them at any time on demand as a member. We've great value for a membership, and I encourage people to do that from, globally. And obviously we've got lots of seats in our webinars. It's not full. You could put as many people as you want in a webinar to a certain cap, I guess, but we're nowhere near that cap. So we would love to grow our membership well beyond the borders of what we could pack into a Jasper Park Lodge per se. And that's really the goal of that membership. And why? Why would you want to get a membership, or who should get a membership? I think, anybody that wants to collaborate in the pressure equipment industry can benefit. We also have a really great value of highly discounted student membership. So if you're youth, if you're a student, if you're a very early career, we have memberships available for students. Access to all of these great experts. We do have industry experts in our membership, and they're very, very open and happy to talk to people, very excited to talk to young people. I know that's a problem in our industry right now, is attracting the youth, the young people to our industry. And I know that there are people that are, 20, 30, 40, even 50-year experienced people that are very excited to spend time and mentor the younger people. So if you're a young person just getting into the industry, if you're a student trying to understand if you want to be part of our industry, it's an outstanding group of people and a great networking opportunity. You'll also learn a lot. I know when I got involved with IPEIA, my first conference that I went to, I was an exhibitor 15 years ago. And I think standing on that exhibit floor and seeing what was out there, I think it really helps you understand what it is you don't know. It's what you do know is this big. If what you do know is a very small amount, and you think you know it all, and then you broaden your mind, broaden the stage, and all of a sudden you realize what you don't know, and that's an eye-opening experience. And I encourage everybody to expand your horizons, expand your limits, try to learn as much as you can, learn who knows what in the industry as well. It's very, very helpful to be able to do that. So I think as that young engineer going to my first IPEIA conference, it really opened my eyes to what I didn't know, and helped me know who knows the things that I don't know, and I can collaborate with those folks and get the answers I need and to help me move my career forward. So it's an amazing group of people. It's a small, close-knit group of people, but it's expanding and growing internationally as well.
It sounds so amazing. You sold it to me. Although I have been there for many, many years too. Okay, perfect. So you have been working in IPEIA, like you said, and having like different hats, like you mentioned, division, and then part of the committee and the selection committee. I think that is when you and I work together, and then the steering committee, now being the chair. Along all those different positions that you have held, which one is the one that you like the most? First question, and then second question. That's like, what is it that it is for volunteers to go and work and join that group of IPEIA beautiful people?
Okay, so the first part of the question, like I said, I started with IPEIA just as an exhibitor in 2015 when I joined my company that I'm currently with. We had a booth at a conference, and I got asked to join the program committee, so I did that. Joined that committee, didn't really fully understand the full breadth of what the volunteers were doing and in other committees and things like that, and became vice chair of program, and then chaired the program committee. Program committee really runs the technical program and the heart of that heart of the conference, that is the technical presentations. Then I got involved as the vice chair of the steering committee, and now I'm the chair. I would say, and in the interim, when I was vice chair, I started running or helping run the webinar and facilitating that. I would say the most rewarding thing that I've done is probably doing the webinar. I really enjoyed the webinars. It's a very rewarding experience. You get kind of I don't know if it's a high or a rush from doing those webinars and presenting to people, and when it's a success, you're very excited, you're very happy, you get, you see that. I also, I have to say that one of my other most enjoyable experiences was seeing, our chair, Allison Weeks, who was a chair for 2 years during the most challenging 2 years that most people can experience, the last 2 years through COVID. To see her up on stage at the end of a very successful conference last year was really, really rewarding as well. So that was a great experience to see all the hard work that she had done paid off, and we got to where we needed to be to have a successful conference through some very tough times. Second part of your question was what are the benefits?
If there is someone that wants to join you guys, the volunteers.
Oh, okay. As a volunteer,
what is there for you? Like, what is a perk besides all of the excitement and the networking and all that? Like,
so it's great. You do, it's a close-knit group. We do have a lot of opportunities, a lot of there's a lot of things that need to be done on the volunteer side. All of our committee members, all of our steering committee members are volunteers, and they're very dedicated. They do a lot of hard work. They put in a lot of hours, a lot of time. And each of these groups have subcommittees, and there are people that work on those subcommittees as well to do individual tasks, help with events, help with the program, help with selection, the selection committee, like you said, Monica, and help with the exhibition, the sponsorship. There's so many different moving parts that go into to this, and we're very much a volunteer-run organization. We have some great staff that are helping out as well, but primarily, the majority of folks that are involved are volunteers, and it's very rewarding. It's fun. It's exciting. The benefits are you get to network with these people. You get to network with industry group. There are multiple industry groups that we collaborate with, and there's representatives from each of these industry groups on steering committee and within the subcommittees. So collaborating with those people, seeing what else is out there. It's a great career development, helps you understand, network. It's really invaluable. Obviously, you could do that as a delegate, but meeting these people on a daily, weekly basis really helps you understand how the industry works as a whole, and helps you understand what else is out there. There's obviously some benefits as well to checking that box of your volunteer hours that you did and whatever, but that's not what it's about. It's about it's about collaborating, having fun, and enjoying what you do. And our volunteers do a great job of those things.
I think it is, like you said, that the most rewarding part is that collaboration, and then the more that you can do things like this and like what you're doing, like reaching people somewhere in the world, and being able to share that knowledge, it's really precious. So really, 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 really good. Excellent.
So I guess I should add, if people that are listening or watching want to volunteer, we're always looking for more volunteers. And if you go to IPEIA.com, you can find the volunteer sign-up form, and we'll take it from there.
That would have been my next question, where people can find.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Yeah, we formalized that a little bit more. It used to be, put your hand up at the conference or talk to somebody at the conference, but we've got a formal sign-up form on the website. Again, helping us be a more international. You don't have to be at the conference to be able to network, to be involved, get involved and sign up.
Excellent. We'll put all those links in the comments below, but it will also be available in our website. And then if anyone in the audience, or you're watching this video or listening to this afterwards, you can reach out anytime, and then it will be my pleasure to pass on the contact.
Perfect.
Super. All right. So like I said, one of IPEIA's, I will say, like the beginning started product, if one can say so, was the conference. If you can describe, like in one sentence, what is the highlight for that conference, what will you say?
Well, I don't know if it's one sentence, but I will try. I think we talked about this a whole bunch already. The collaboration and the networking and it's very much, we've had for many years, we've had our conference has been in the Rocky Mountains. I think it's almost like a retreat experience where you can just leave your office behind, although with Teams and everything else, your office comes with you. Wherever your laptop is, that's where your office is, right? So you can leave your office behind, you take a deep breath, breathe the fresh mountain air, take a look at the mountains, and go and have a conversation with somebody that you never met before and you'll learn something that you didn't know before. And that's what it's all about, the collaboration between all these people, all these different groups. You find commonalities within different industries. You find people have common problems. You find people have common solutions. And if you can develop that network and have those collaborations, have those discussions, that helps the entire industry move forward. So raising all ships by having a conversation, one conversation at a time, that's what it's all about.
Excellent. You talked a little bit about who normally will be at the conference. So we said about students and operators and service providers. You also talked about regulators. And then there is a panel with the regulation. Like, can you describe a little bit what is it? And then what can one get out of that panel?
Sure. So our regulatory panel, and it's evolved over the years. We basically have a panel discussion that is very well attended by the attendees at the conference, and it's primarily because most of those attendees are in Alberta or BC or Saskatchewan or surrounding areas. So if your viewers aren't necessarily familiar, in Canada we have a regulatory process. We have regulators that that oversee pressure equipment integrity within each province. So we have in Alberta, we have ABSA, which is leading the way, helping lead the way in development of codes and standards, and we're trying to get these regulators provincially to collaborate. I think we had the largest panel of different provinces attending because we had a hybrid session at the last conference. We had some folks from different provinces. We had some regulators from different provinces join as well. Just helping those people get in the room, if it's a virtual room or an actual room, together to collaborate. That helps with streamlining, helps the industry. It's like, what are you doing over here? What are we doing over here? How do we, because these jurisdictional differences can cause confusion sometimes, they can cause issues. If we can get these guys talking to each other, anything helps. We can help solve these common problems and help push things forward. So collaboration and consolidation of these groups and having them talk to each other, that's really what that's about. But they give updates on what it is they're trying to do, what new things are happening, what new regulations are coming out. So if you want to know what's happening in the province of Saskatchewan, the regulator will be there to talk to you about the new things that are happening, new regulations that may or may not be coming out soon, and how they're collaborating with other provinces to help move that forward. So that's really what that's about. Obviously, it's not necessarily an international yet. It's interprovincial. We would love to have other regulators, join that discussion as well from different countries and collaborate in different ways. It's a confusing and sometimes messy situation when you're dealing with. In my day job, I deal with different countries, different jurisdictions all the time, and it can be confusing. So helping navigate that, knowing who the regulators are and what the requirements are in each particular province or each particular country is certainly very helpful. So that's really what that's all about. And it's evolved over time into a larger discussion, but we're taking it one step at a time. Obviously, for the conference specific, our delegates are still primarily geographically in Western Canada, so we focus on that. But there's definitely some opportunities within our webinar format to expand that regulators to be more international as well.
Excellent. It is really great because I know there are some finicky areas when it crosses a board, although for the pipe and the product, it doesn't really matter where you are.
Correct.
Perfect. So now I'm gonna pick your brain, not only at IPEIA, but also you have been in the industry for many years. So, and you know a lot of people and all that. It seems like, and I have asked this question almost to everyone that has come interviewing in this format. We seem to have a lot of tools. We have brilliant people. We have regulators. We have many things. But we still are having a gap in what we are doing, and then still incidents are happening, asset integrity, corrosion, and all that is all still very present. Like, what is one of the things that we should do as professionals to close that gap? What do you think, in your opinion, from everything that you have seen and all those analyses and your day-to-day work and IPEIA and your networking, what do you think that we could, as part of this community, we can do? Is there anything that pops into mind? Like, what would you think?
Well, that's a very heavy question, a very loaded question, and it's we obviously, pressure equipment is inherently, you know, potentially dangerous, and we try our best to do, you know, on a daily basis, we try our best to make sure that every piece of equipment we touch is safe. And you know, it really comes down to education. And it's not just education from, you know, learning in school. It's really continuous development, continuous education, continuous learning. Because, like I said, you know, first when I went to IPEIA, I didn't know what I didn't know. And then, you know, you go to IPEIA and you go, wow, I went to all these presentations and there's a whole lot of things that I don't know. So staying within your area of knowledge, staying within your area of practice, but understanding other areas of practice as well is very helpful. How do we do that? By doing formats like this, having discussions like we're having right now, having formats, going to conferences, but not only that, I think there's a responsibility, and you know, as an engineer, we have an engineering responsibility to mentor the younger generation as well. I think that needs to filter down to not just engineers, but everybody should feel like they have that responsibility to teach, mentor, coach the next generation to understand what the issues are, to understand the importance of continuous education, continuous development, and being able to, you know, we have that responsibility as more senior folks to mentor and make sure that we've got the next generation of people that are going to inherit even older equipment to be able to carry that mantle forward.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I don't know if that answered the question that you were hoping for, but
it did in a really good way, because you are putting together, you know, a very basic concept of vision, and people like dreamers like me, like yourself, like IPEIA's first person that said we should do this together. And this is what it takes. It takes, you know, people that want to do it, people that are able to bring, like, one day I heard someone saying it's extending the ladder. So you're extending the ladder so other people can climb as well. And you're doing that not only with this and with this particular one that we're doing and everything, and our social networks and all that, but also by being open and telling people this is great, come and join, because there's so many more things that you don't even imagine. So definitely education is one of the, and being able to extend the ladder is definitely one of the most rewarding things a career can give to someone. So it's really good. Super, Mark. I think I'm at the end of the question. Do you have any final thoughts, any final remarks? I haven't told the audience if they have questions. There is a button on the top hand side, Q&A, so you guys can go and type your questions, and then we can ask them to Mark.
Sure, I did want to touch on a couple things. Primarily, I think there's one thing that we talked about it a little bit, but we didn't talk too much about what we do for students. And I do want to touch on that real quick. We do have a student membership that is $25, and for you, if you have people in the States, it's $25 Canadian, which is pennies in American dollars, I guess, at this point. But you know, very, very good value. We just want students to show up. We want students to see, experience what's there. From our Integrity Challenges Forum side, we've developed and we're working on, you know, reducing red tape and improving career development for younger people. It's like we're trying to create a roadmap for people coming into pressure equipment integrity management. What are the potential post-secondary things that they can do at a high school, what are the work experience that they need after high school or after post-secondary, and what a career path might look like to try and help people get into pressure equipment integrity. Because we do have, I think we have a bit of a generation gap. We have that challenge of getting young people involved, and we're working on doing that. We also have a student poster session that we've started doing at every conference. And so we have abstract submissions are due soon for that. If you're a student and you want to get involved in that, we would love to see those, a student poster on a technical presentation. I would just like to tell students that are potentially looking for jobs, the people that we selected to do the student posters, we're getting job offers left, right, and center. So if you're looking for a job and you want to get exposed, submit an abstract there on our website for the student poster session. That's really all I wanted to cover. I wanted to make sure I got that in there because the student, I think that is a super important part of what we do. And we're wanting to try and develop that more, get more student involvement, get younger people involved early, get them involved in our membership, get them involved volunteering, and then hopefully we've got a much younger group coming in that can help us with all the new things. Maybe we'll have maybe we'll all be doing this format on TikTok at some point, but we need younger people to tell us how to do that, right?
I love that. I love that. I'll subscribe right away. And definitely it is a good challenge, but it's also a good opportunity for everyone. Like this, imagine I would have killed for an opportunity like this when I was a student, to be able to present, pay $20, and then get a job offer possibly after. So for everyone that is a student and is starting their careers, or maybe some of the newcomers to Canada, that, like myself, right? I started as a newcomer, and you don't have all the ducks in a row. This is a really good opportunity. I know that it will give perhaps some sort of idea of what the career path can be after.
Absolutely.
Super, excellent. Now let me check with Felipe. Are there questions in the chat, Felipe?
Not from the audience right now. I have a couple for myself, if that is okay with Mark.
Sure.
You mentioned earlier that, well, first of all, what is the IPEIA's strategy to get more younger people besides the information that you give to us previously? Like, did you guys have maybe like a mentorship program or something like that to attract more younger people?
So that is a great idea, and I think we're looking at that as a possibility. We don't have anything in place right now. It's maybe a chicken or the egg problem. We need students so that we can develop a mentorship program, or maybe we need a mentorship program and we can get more students. It's one or the other. But I think we do have an agreement with, we're working on collaborating with post-secondary education institutions, primarily starting out in Alberta because we have people in those geographic locations. I think there's potential for those locations are going to help us get a critical mass of students. Once we have that critical mass of students, I think we can pair those people up with the with the right mentors and have that discussion. But yeah, I think those things are not formalized. They have really happened organically, I think, by some of those conversations that happen. There's some of those very keen and observant volunteers that we have, and older members that we have are very, very keen to help out students. that hasn't been formalized, but for sure we're interested in helping students and helping them move in the right direction and get the help that they need when they're starting out their careers.
Thank you, Mark. I have one last one also. I'm just really being curious about that. Do you guys pull in students from another country or just focus in Canada?
So we are open to having students from anywhere. I think there's benefit from any international student joining. We have a great deal of industry experts, a great deal of presentations. We facilitate a introductory course that is geared towards industry, what codes, standards, regulations there are, things like that. It really helps students do that, and I think it can work. It can work for anybody in pressure equipment integrity. They would be definitely benefit from those the courses, from the networking, from the collaboration, and the formats that we have, the webinars that we have, the access to all of our past presentations is invaluable. So yeah, I think it would be benefits for students from anywhere.
Thank you,
Mark. It's not really just about a conference anymore. It's about bringing in international people and having networking that way as well.
And it's great that you guys having that virtual environment as well, just to get the people to see if they cannot travel to Canada in that way, they can see the conference there, even the previous one, as you mentioned before.
Correct.
We have a question here from Mr. Alexander. I'm going to read it as it is. So, Mark, thanks a lot for interesting information. My question is, he has two questions. How well do engineers in Canada have a basic grasp of corrosion issues? And the second one is, how much corrosion training is present in the standard courses and lessons for engineers?
So I can speak to that in general terms. Corrosion analysis is not my area of expertise. I have the benefit of being in a company where we have a large number of experts in a lot of areas. We do have, and we have had many presenters that are industry leading world experts in that area. Materials, corrosion, welding, we have some great experts. And they could probably answer those questions a little bit better. I think that, from an engineering perspective, I don't think all engineers have a good grasp on this, but again, it's knowing the right people to reach out to when you have a problem is important. Like I said, I know who I would reach out to if I had a corrosion problem, and it's not going to be me as the expert. It's going to be me reaching out to the network, and that's the beauty of IPEIA is we have that network of people. You will meet people, you will see presentations. If you become a member, you can go look at past presentations on certain corrosion issues. We have lots of that as one of the main topics, and we have some really, really great experts on those issues. So I don't know if that answered the question, but in general, we have a whole lot of great experts that and a lot of great past presentations, and we'll have presentations in the future on corrosion issues.
Let me give my 5 cents in here. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of corrosion presentations in the past, but there is also, like, as a country, if that is a question, there is not a lot of expertise or educational careers. Like there is no corrosion engineering per se that people can go and pursue. But like Mark said, in venues like this and associations and like in all this network, it will give us the right moment and then the right approach to have connection to that person, right? So someone that knows someone that for sure knows about that, and then you'll definitely help. So that's one of the beauties of that network, is you don't have to know all the answers. You only have to know who's the right person to ask the question. So that's my 5 cents in this one. I think we don't have any more questions, Mark. Thank you very much for being here. Time really flew by. I think we spent a lot more time than we wanted, but it was really, really nice. It was really nice to see you. And all of the links to everything that Mark has said, it will be in the comments. It will be in our newsletter, in our website. And if you have more questions, and if you're listening to this 3 days or a month down the road and some questions pop up, let us know. And yeah, thank you so much.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you, Felipe, Monica. Really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks again for putting this all together, and look forward to seeing you in person again soon.
Definitely. And then the audience, keep posted, because the next one is coming in 2 weeks. So thank you so much, and have a great evening or great morning, and talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Bye.